And I'm just going to cover the whole La Reconquista machete movie and all these speeches around the country with the illegal alien groups saying whites are the devil, we got to get them, we got to bring in communism, how it's all funded by the government on record. I'm just going to cover that for an hour tomorrow because this economic information is too important. Here it is. White House doesn't rule out sabotage in Thursday's wild Wall Street plunge. That's out of the Hill. And they've got that from the West Wing office. Gibbs told reporters this. Meanwhile, it's Goldman Sachs, clearly. I agree with Kaiser. All the evidence is there. George Humphrey is an author, filmmaker, former Austin City Council member, a degreed economist, good friend of mine. And he's with us now for probably more than an hour. And it's great to have him in studio. So much is happening. Everything is accelerating, quickening, George. And he's here with us in studio. You've got the floor about what's happening in the markets and where all this is headed.
Well, first of all, I want to say, if you like excitement and if you like fun, this is the place to be right now. There's nothing more exciting that is happening in the world, and there is no place in the world that you can get better information than on this radio show. And I am truly honored to be here and to be your friend. And this Max Kaiser who is just on, man, that guy rocks. He is incredible. And, you know, you have people like Bob Chapman on the show, who is one of the finest economists in the whole country. And so for the listeners who are brand new, you know, I've known Alex since he was 17, and he rants and he raves and he yells and all sorts of stuff, but he's telling you the truth, you know, and so keep listening and keep buying the product.
That's right. I knew you in high school because you were involved with Pat Buchanan and stuff in his first run. Yep. And I remember coming by your house to get signs.
Yep. And we've been doing this for a long, long, long time. And back in the early 90s, people used to make fun of us and yell at us. And when 9/11 happened, you know, and that week we came out and said it was not what the government was saying. And for the couple of years, we took a lot of heat from that. And not everything that I say or you say is absolutely dead right on. But I'll tell you what. I would match your record against any record in any prognostication of anybody in this country. And the point is that we are facing an economic and political tsunami. There is no question whatsoever. Now, 15 years ago, if we were on the beach and the water started pulling out, we wouldn't know what was happening. We'd probably just sit there and get hit by the tsunami. Now, because of shows like this and because of the work of myself and thousands of other patriots, people are waking up to what's going on. The economic tide has pulled out, and it's going out further and further. There is no question whatsoever that we are going to experience the largest economic tsunami in the history of this Western culture in this period of life. And it is coming. Now, whether it's going to come in a couple of months or in 5 months or a year and a half, we don't know. But it's already happening. We're seeing the breakup of the European Union right at this period of time. The American government, the American economy, the American dollar are dying as we speak. It's a dead man walking. No matter what we do, no matter how much money is printed, how much credit is put out there, no matter how many lies they tell, we cannot fix the
And the globalists know that. That's the trap. That's the loan sharking. And they're just amassing power right now.
Yes, and one of the things is when you study history, you realize is that the Illuminati's motto is out of chaos, power. Out of chaos is order. And all of this is prearranged disintegration of the very vehicle that keeps America, the American Republic, the strongest government, the strongest concept of hope and of freedom in the whole world. Our nation, our republic, our society is being systematically destroyed. And I know that for some people this is very difficult to understand, but when one looks at the facts are that the economic tsunami that is coming at us is going to make what happened in Indonesia and Thailand and India seem like small fry. And all you have to do is take a look at the fact that total federal, state, local, and personal debt is 900% greater than the gross national product. That's not including the derivatives. And then if you add the derivatives, there's another 100.
Stay there. Start over. Long segment coming up. And they're on record saying they're setting up a Bank of the World that will have a new global currency that's digital. You'll still have your local currency, but it'll be set by this group. And then they state the reasons they want the world government, and it only gets worse from there. And so George Humphrey is our guest economist. Your phone calls are coming up. He'll be with us into the next hour as well. 1-800-259-9231. First, do you agree with Kaiser's analysis on the financial terrorism last week? And what's your take on what's happening with, first it's $150 billion, then it's $600 billion, then it's a trillion today. Now they're saying more than $1 trillion, and they won't even say where the money's going.
Yeah, first of all, Max Kaiser's amazing, and I really enjoyed and learned listening from him. And it was really funny because I brought into the show a bunch of information that said that the bailout was $147 billion, and on the way here I hear that's $1 trillion for Europe. Now, the first thing that has to be understood is that this is not a bailout for Greece. Let me repeat this. This is not a bailout for Greece. This is a bailout for the banks of that region. It has the only people getting the shaft on this are the Greek people, and then it's going to be the Italian people, and then the Spanish people, and all the people of Europe. A $1 trillion bailout right now. And the thing that must be remembered is that in the last week they keep talking about that the German and the French banks are the ones that are going to take this heaviest. Well, it's my understanding that the IMF is good for about 27 to 35% of this $1 trillion. And guess who pays most of the IMF? The people of the United States. This so-called bailout is being paid for by you and by me and by your families. This is just absolutely insane. And that is why shows like this are so absolutely important, because getting this information out has to be done. This is absolute criminal behavior. And as I have said over and over and over again, no matter how much the bailouts, no matter how many zeros you add, you can't bail it out. You can't fix something that's already dead. With fractional reserve banking, it is a dead system from the first day. And right now, the economies of Greece and Spain and Germany do not represent the real productivity or unproductivity of the country.
And it's a black hole. The bankers bragged over time to get you in debt, grow the size of the state, and then it all implodes into the black hole.
Absolutely. And then also, of course, the size of government. You know, and I've been yelling about this forever. The total debt of Greece is 118% of the gross national product. The total debt of Italy is 122%. The average debt in the Western European Union is about 80% of the gross domestic products. Now, that's not including their corporate debts. That's not including their private debts. That's not including some of the derivatives. Folks, their situation, it's gone, it's over, and it's done. And this does not even include the nations of Eastern Europe, countries like Romania and Ukraine, where you just start adding zeros and you just keep your finger on the plug. It's over and done. It won't work. They can shine it up as much as they want, but the reality is because they are using the same sort of economy, fiat currency, fractional reserve banking, both systems, the U.S. dollar and the euro, are headed for disaster.
Now, I want you to go over that, but I want to direct all radio listeners to go to prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com. But Kurt Nimmo, Paul Watson, and Steve Watson are on fire. I called them all this morning. I asked them to cover a whole bunch of key subjects. I sent them documents. They'd already done their own research. There are a whole bunch of articles that are on the front page of prisonplanet.com that while you're talking, George, I'm going to have my guys go to the featured news stories and put them over the screen while you're talking. These are all so important, so your friends, your family, your neighbors, people around you know why this is happening and that it's predestined and pre-planned by these criminals. Bankers, economists, mass centralization at heart of Euro bailout. Okay, that's government admitting that. Here's another one. Bankers destroy global economy by design to consolidate power. Another key article. Here's another one the guys wrote, all linked to direct statements. Ron Paul, Euro bailout will lead to currency collapse. Here's another one. Euro bailout fund is a desperate measure. Here's another one. Banksters throw $1 trillion down a black hole. This is all key. These articles have all the proof, all the statements. This is the intelligence that we need to get out to everyone. I'm begging the listeners, post this on Facebook, MySpace, your email list, everyone you know, and say this is what's really going on, and send them this list of articles. This is life and death information, because if we just lay here and take these attacks, they win. But if we take this attack like judo and use it against them, they have reached too far. They can fall just like Ceausescu, or just like Hitler, or just like so many other thugs throughout history, Bernie Madoff, Ken Lay.